till about 3 years ago, when I started to actually really look into where my food was coming from, and when I began to understand what was in my food and how farmers, were forced into the situation of economies of scale and mass production, monocultures, and how much they were encouraged and trained to use the number of herbicides and pesticides and chemical fertilizers, that and they utterly believed that it was not harming themselves, their customers, or their land. I don't know how they've been managed to be convinced of that, because you only have to see the people who are putting on these chemicals, that they are covered from head to toe in protective gear. So if it's harmless, why are they wearing all this protective gear? And they look like Martians when they're applying all of this, the herbicides and pesticides. So, where is it going when it gets sprayed on? Yes, it may die to a certain level, but a lot of it is leached into the water table. A lot of it goes into the water table. A lot of the collapse of the water systems feeding out from the land are not what they were. And I think that's been proved over and over, that we've got, Normie was one of the people that told me the stories. He grew up here, and he says the difference in the rivers from when he was a child, the amount of fish and the clarity of the water, and the lack of damage on the banks has changed so much since he was a boy. And so when you listen to those stories over and over again, you kind of go, well, it's a great privilege, because actually I'm able to be less ignorant these days about what is going on in order to get that food cheaper and cheaper. And it is economies of scale. It's mass corporate monocultural farming. It's clearing land, which then means that the water comes racing down those rivers, bursts the banks. It's a lot of urea that's put on the land that then goes into the rivers. It's a multitude of things. And organisations like Landcare are doing a great job in trying to reverse that and making sure that we've got stability on the river banks and that there's less clearing upstream and all of that. But still, we've got a long way to go to get it back to how it was.